guys, it's Clinton and Jay from CNC Equipment. We've got us a lineup of
the new Halverson 150 along with the rest of the units that we stocked.
So we'll this will start over here on this side. So if you call up on the phone or shoot us an email, Jay's going to be the guy you want to talk to. We'll put a link in the description and on here, the phone number, email. But we'll start over here. This you guys can see that.
The new and improved Grapple Saw. They actually redesigned it last year. Put the Parker motor on it. It is designed to cut up to around 28-inch logs. Opens up to about 48 inches. Super strong motor. Great for log clearing. Great for using it as a buck saw. Storm chasers. Just a really solid quality product.
These things are all what, USA made?
They are. They're all USA made, USA components.
That's something. There's a lot of Chinese copies, imports too, and they may look the same, but it's not the same stuff. They got China hoses and motors and pumps on them. You know, if you can see that tag right there, that says Minnesota in there. Everything's USA made. And
Halverson is definitely a really good company. They stand behind their product 100%.
Right.
We've had very little issues with stuff, and the little issues that did pop up, they are very good about customer relations and getting stuff resolved.
So all these models are going to come with 3 hoses, is that right? Other than the
inverted splitter.
Other than the inverted splitter. So you got 3 hoses. One's your power and one's your return. Is that right?
Got power, return, and a K-string.
And a K-string. That is for your saw motors. They have to have a K-string. It's going to be your smaller line there. So I know those. So any of these attachments other than the inverted splitter over there, you're going to have 3 connections on your skid steer. So the K-string is basically just dumping off extra pressure from the motor, and all it has to do is dump back into the hydraulic tank. You can't tee it into your return line. It needs to go back to the hydraulic tank. So we've added a few on skid steers for people too. And this saw has what, a couple power wires got to be hooked up to?
Yeah, so basically you just need a power. Need 1 power wire, which
simple 2-wire deal there.
But it does come with the 14-pin connector that most standard skid steers have. Bobcat is the only one you kind of will watch out for. They have a 7-pin, which there's ways around it.
All right, so all these models are going to come with this, and it comes bare, so you can actually, not everything's the same. They've got, little paper in there. It says which outputs do what on most machines, but not everything is the same. So a lot of times you gotta get in there with a probe or a multimeter or something like that and see which button sending power out. They give you all the tools for that. That's called a Deutsch connector, I believe. But then there's some other adapters and stuff too. And on these, we also, if your skid steer don't have enough buttons,
if you don't have a 14-pin connector.
All right, some of the older machines may not have enough buttons in the cab, so we need what, 5?
You need 6 functions.
6 functions, 5 buttons.
5 buttons.
Actually using 5 buttons, so we have these in stock for each one of them too. So these are actually your buttons for everything. We usually mount them on the controls, the joystick controls.
Tells you up, down, left, right.
We'll put them right on the front, and we'll do a video. We're actually staying in 150, not to jump around, but we'll do a video on this one separately. After we do a walk around on the machine and stuff, we'll show you how those button kits work. So
since we're on the button kit side of things too, they do make a joystick kit, which is a one-handed control. I have one. I should have brought it out, but I don't have it with me right now. Which they recommend for anything with a steering wheel or an excavator. It's like a control you can lay in your lap. Just makes it a little bit easier. So
a lot of people put like these smaller 120s on your farm tractors or your little mini excavators and stuff like that too. So that's what that joystick control's for then.
So since we jumped up a little bit, let's go back and...
Yeah, so that's the Grapple Saw. We just done that. And we keep all these things in stock almost all the time. For some reason we sell out, we've got them coming within a week or two, but I think we're probably Halverson's one of their bigger dealers around, but we are stocking.
We are the biggest dealer here in the Midwest for sure. If not,
we are stocking everything. So this is the 140.
This is their flagship. This is what they came out with that kind of wrote the book on their processors. And they have, redesigned stuff over the years, but this is actually what they call the 140B. It can cut up to 17-inch diameter. It has awesome splitting force and power, machine type grapple. It's got a bigger ram cylinder than the 120 for faster cycle time.
You can see this rod's a lot bigger. It makes it go back a lot quicker. When you have a smaller diameter rod, it takes more oil and it's slower filling this cavity up. So when you got a big ram like that, you get quick cycle times going back. So
you can cut up to 2 cords an hour in an ideal situation with this machine.
We've actually got a couple of videos. I'll try to put them in the link of these things running. I've actually run these quite a bit. These are more somewhat commercialized than your 120. They are a little heavier. They got what, bigger pumps?
They do. They've got a Parker motor, bigger pump, bigger cylinder. It's made out of 3/8 steel instead of 1/4 inch. It does weigh around 1,500 pounds.
So it's not something you're going to put on your smaller farm tractors or little smaller skid steers and stuff. It takes, because when you pick up a big, say you pick up a 16-inch log in there, you've got some weight going on around there. So
this machine is designed for the customer that is doing 200 plus cords a year. Not just cutting for himself. This is designed to be in the guy making a living cutting firewood.
All right. So what kind of options we got on these then? I know there's a couple different splitter heads.
So they all come, the 140 comes with the adjustable 4-way. You do have an adjustable 6-way that just unpins and pins right in there.
When he says adjustable, it's actually manual. You got to pull that pin out, and you've got different settings there. So you can pull that pin out and slide this dude all the way down if you're just wanting to split big chunks in half. Or you can raise it up for different heights. Or we have a 6-way, like you said.
There is a 6-way. There's actually one laying down over here.
We'll show you that over there. We do have a 6-way laying out over there. So you got options on the splitter head. What other kind of...
So other than that, there's the button kit. You can get carbide chains for them. But the regular 404 chain that it comes with is actually really...
Yeah, this is a regular 18-inch Harvester chain bar. It's heavy-duty stuff. And so they have their own separate oil reservoir here, I know, too.
So you're not stealing hydraulic fluid from your machine. It's actually...
So you actually got to keep that full of your bar oil. Here's a little better picture. Your three lines. Again, you got your 2 big ones. One's power and one's return. And this is your little case drain over here. And this is the electrical connector. And again, they'll give you that connector. It will go to your skid steer. Or if you have enough buttons, or you can get the button kit that we sell. So if you want to show them in here, so whenever you buy these, they're going to come kind of crated like this.
Should have a sticker, but
there's 4 bolts in here you got to pull out. But all your paperwork and
owner's manual
and your wiring and that kind of stuff will be down in here. You can see it's all quality stuff in here. Like I say, these are all built in the United States and everything.
So another safety feature of these is they will not self-destruct. All models have the same feature. Like with this bed in the splitting position, it has to be all the way pushed back for the saw to start and the arm to come down. So there's no chance of you ever hitting this metal bed.
Right now we'd have massive carnage if that saw actually went down, but until this is, even if it's like out a ½ inch, it will not, that saw will not come down. It's got to be
completely back.
About the only hiccup, I know there's one hiccup. We get a phone call every once in a while. People say, hey, my saw won't go down. Everything else is working fine, but the saw won't go down. And this is on the
This is a 140 here. The 120 set up a little different.
I don't know if you guys can see down in there. There's a little sensor. It's actually got a little light on it. The 120 is a little different. They use these sensors in some other places too. What happens, you're cutting, say bark's peeling off some poplar or oak or something, a piece of bark will actually hang over it and block that little light right there. And it will, that is actually the sensor that tells you that the splitting head is all the way back and that the saw can go down. So if there's something obstructing that little light, that saw is not going to move. It thinks there's something in the way. The same thing on the
120. It's a little different. We don't have a cover off a 120 right now,
different location, but
there's a sensor up, I think, on the back side here at a 120. It's like a monetary switch instead of an eye sensor. But I have seen that get out of adjustment because of a piece of bark or something,
and then the saw won't. But it's just a safety thing. You definitely don't want to be slamming that bar down into the metal. But Like I say,
just the first thing to check to save yourself a phone call. If,
yeah, call, hey, it won't work, or headaches. You know, I know cell service, you got to drive 10 miles to get cell service, and call Jay up and say, you know, we got issues. So, but anyway, we just wanted to point that out. It's that little sensor there. You need to check all, make sure they're all clean first thing when you have an issue or something, if it stops working. So it's usually something very simple. But, you know, if we didn't have that sensor there, then we would have some.
And we've got some good customer service. So if you need anything, feel free to call.
But it is something like it's pretty similar in all the models. You're going to pull that plate off
Pull that
and get
cover
your
off. There may be a
instructions and
couple
stuff
extra
off.
bolts on some to pull it off.
Right.
But,
we already took the bolt out of that one just to show you guys. So. But that is the 140. We've been selling these things for.
When was that? 2014, 15?
Yeah, probably like as soon as they started getting in the business. And Glenn's kind of the guy that started the company. I know we've had a couple, you know, issues. We've updated these. We've helped him out, and he really stands behind his stuff. I mean, that's
Glenn and Tom are excellent guys from Halverson.
If there's a problem, you call them. They send a part out or fix it, make it right with you. And we don't have a whole lot of problems, knock on wood, with them, but
The customer service is above and beyond for sure.
yeah, he'll go above and beyond to make things right with you. But this is a big.
This is the one we're excited about. This is
big brand new 150.
The new machine. We haven't even got a chance to run this yet, but wait, we will. So this actually can cut up to 22-inch stuff. So it's going to be for the bigger stuff. You know, a couple bigger features from the 140 is it actually has a hydraulic adjustable wedge.
That'd be nice.
So you can.
You guys can see that cylinder there. It's all hydraulic controlled, so you can move that thing up or down. And this has what, a 4-way wedge on it right now?
4-way wedge, has an optional 6-way wedge that can come with it.
Looks like we've got a 6-way right there. So I see a lot of people buying that, especially buying this bigger type of machine.
These, both the 140 and the 150, require a minimum of 15.5 gallons per minute, which is usually on some of the bigger size skid steers. But do not run high flow on them. It's just normal flow, no high flow at all.
That's another misconception a lot of people think about. You know, we sell skid steers stuff all the time, and everybody says, you know, I want high flow, I need high flow, and 95% of the people do not need high flow.
Unless you run a stump, like high-end stump grinders or asphalt
forestry thing. You know, everybody thinks you have high flow to run most of the stuff, and you don't. You know, it's not what everybody needs. So
this has even more splitting force and power than the 140.
It looks like a little bigger cylinder there. Again, it's got the big chrome rod, so it comes back quick and everything. I don't know if you guys can see.
This thing comes in weighing around 1,700 pounds or so.
So this one's 1,700. The 140, what's it weigh?
It weighs a little less than 1,500. It's like 1,450 or so.
And then you got the 120 over here at your lighter one. What's it?
It comes in around 1,300.
Okay.
1,250.
So that doesn't sound like much of a difference, but when you got it on a smaller skid steer or whatnot, it's.
And then you're picking up a 1,000-pound log.
Right. It adds up. Plus your way out here on the ends, you got a lot of leverage out here too. So.
Has bigger feet on it, a little bigger deck.
So these they're gonna come. If you don't stop and pick one up, they're gonna come on a pallet like this. And another thing that's gonna be that the customer will have to put on is these legs right here.
These legs, and they've
got a bolt right here.
They got a bolt on each one, and if the first one doesn't fit right, switch it to the other one, because the holes are drilled together.
They're fitted to each other, so that's a good thing to point out. So yeah, any of that, even the 120s are that way now.
The 120s are that way.
And the reason I do that is for shipping purposes, because that takes a lot of room up in shipping. So
it does. It makes it cheap, a lot more economic to.
So these will be laid on here and strapped down when you.
And again, when you get the machine, you just got to pull this cover off, and all of your booklets, and if you order a button kit, all that stuff will be down inside there.
So, what size of bar we got on this one here?
This one has, what is it, a 20? I know it cuts 28-inch bar, cuts 22-inch stuff.
That's quite a bit bigger than the other ones. And we've got a massive grappler here. We got it curved too. I kind of like that deal.
They've actually got it set up going parallel with the log.
I see that.
So just because of the bigger logs, the way the other grapple arm is set up, it would not hold it still. So
right. There's their data plate. Yeah, it's got the same Rundry bar oil here. Same thing there, but we'll do a video on this 150. We've got a couple videos of the 140s and stuff out.
We're going to demo the 150 soon.
We'll demo this 150. We'll do another walk around of it, and I've got a bunch of oak and nasty hickory and stuff, so I ought to put it to the test. But so
right here's the 120. This is actually the one that we sell the most of. It's a little bit more economical than the 140 or the 150 price point. It's a little bit lighter, so a lot more machines can run it. The gallons minimum of 14.5. It'll actually cut the same size stuff as the 140. You're right at that 16, 17 inch stuff. Same bar. It's got a little different saw motor on it. It's made with a little bit more over-the-counter parts instead of commercialized parts, so stuff can be sourced a little easier. With that being said, the prices of the components are a little bit less money, so the machine's a little bit less money. This will do up to 1.5 cords an hour, so it's a little bit slower production than like the 140 and the 150.
yeah, I've noticed that's a little slower on the saw, slower and maybe a little less power. It gets the job done, but it's slower than the 140.
They designed this for like the homeowner, you know, the guy cutting, I don't know, 200 or 20 cord a year, not 200. And it comes in two different models. Right now we have the adjustable, like we went over, which you have to pull a pin.
That same pin there deal.
And then with that adjustable model, you have the option to go to the 6-way.
That's a 6-way, and that's the same head that would go on the 140. Is that right?
It is.
Yeah. So if a guy want to do 6-way,
6-way, we can sell them with a 6-way only, a 4-way only, or a combination of both.
from my experience, I've run the 140s, which cuts the same size wood as the 120. You know, if you're not cutting, you know, if you got a boiler or something like that, the 4-way is going to get you, get the job done.
It is.
Basically, you kind of set them up 6 or 7 inches or so. They're going to split most of your stuff.
Especially if you're doing boiler wood, the nice part about it is you can pull the pin, drop it straight down, and bust the bigger stuff in half instead of quarters.
While I was talking about this, you can drop this where it's sitting all the way down. If you just want 2 big chunks or something like that, you can do that.
You can pull it all the way out and just cut rounds.
That's true. Use it as a saw. So.
This has been a really popular model. We have really, I've got a bunch of those out there. I'm sure Halverson has it.
Yeah, the price point, and we'll put all the prices. They're on our website, so there'll be a link
in there.
There'll be a link to all that stuff because the prices change and all this stuff right now. So we'll put price on that. The 120 is definitely priced quite a bit lower than the 140, but the 140 is more commercialized. It's going to be quicker and all that stuff too. So, but we sell a lot of the 120. So
we do. They make this even a little more economical version with a fixed 4-way.
Right.
That's not even adjustable. We do sell a few of those. I don't order near as many as the adjustable. Everybody wants the adjustable stuff.
Right.
But it is even more economical than the adjustable one. And this is their inverted splitter. It's a great.
Me and you both know, not to interrupt you, but you can buy these things anywhere.
Oh, there's all kinds of China ones out there. And
you guys got to realize, I mean, this thing is made in the USA. It's all got super heavy duty steel. You can see how it's all reinforced up. It's got a main beam and a couple
thick I-beam.
Yeah,
big cylinder. But I mean, what stands this apart is I mean, 2 factors. One factor is it's made by a company that does nothing but sell machines to process firewood. So it's designed and tested and works well. The other factor that kind of stands it alone is this valve body here. So that does 2 things. It gives it a more power forward, splitting power, and a faster cycle time back.
Right.
So again, it puts production up. Instead of just, slow one way and slow back, it's a little bit slower forward but faster back, so it gives you more pressure to split that bigger, gnarlier stuff, which is what you need this for.
And of course, this thing's upside down right now too, if you can't tell. So that's why they call it inverted. That's just how they ship them. So, but you can see this dude. I don't know what that's set up. That's about 10 inches or something. It's pretty big, but it's all fixed.
A lot of times when you get your you know, you have it upside down, so your head's here on the ground.
Right.
You know, so you may only have 6 inches going through on the other side.
That is true. A nice heavy thick metal on there. Again, nice USA made stuff.
Super strong. We've sold quite a few of these.
You're going to find these all day long for, you know, below the price point of this one, but as the saying goes, you know, you get what you pay for, so, and this kind of stuff.
It's a great compliment if you buy the Grapple Saw. You know,
Yeah.
we'll cut the bigger rounds and then split the bigger rounds.
This is made for the big nasty. You got one of these too,
I
don't
do.
you?
I've got one of these at the house because
I think I forgot about that.
I'll get the big nasty stuff.
He's got one of the big boilers, so he's always doing nasty, gnarly stuff, so if he's not broke it yet, it must be pretty good.
It is pretty good. It is pretty
So
good.
again, we've got, what's this one? This one is the...
This is the inverted splitter.
Inverted splitter.
Got the 120 that comes in an adjustable or fixed.
Yep.
And the 150, this is the brand new machine we're excited to test out.
150.
And then their flagship they've had forever, which is the 140, which is just proven to put Halverson on the map as far as these processors go.
All right. And we got the Grapple Saw.
The Grapple Saw.
And this is what the second design of this. They had some updates and stuff, I know, on this too.
They
so.
did. They had the smaller saw motor on it and had a couple issues with that, but they did put the Parker motor, which is off the bigger units, on this, and since then they really haven't had any problems. They actually do make this grapple, ideal grapple, without the chain and motor, without the bar, just as a grapple, log grapple. I don't have one of those in stock today, but it is another option.
Somebody photobombing our video here. I need some more army trucks. We got all kinds of stuff coming in daily. There's stuff, inventory changes, but anyway, if you got any questions, send us an email. We'll put links in the descriptions and on the screen here. Call and ask for Jay. He's your man on that kind of stuff. So he knows.
We told you we're located here in Nashville, Indiana, an hour south of Indianapolis, a couple hours from Louisville.
Yep, we're kind of out here in the middle of nowhere, but we kind of like it that way. So
local pickup is welcome. We also ship stuff all over the country.
Every day we've got several trucks in here picking up, so that's not an issue. We've got competitive rates on all that stuff too. So
we've got actually 2 of these Halversons going out today. It's that time of year.
Yeah, I don't know how many of these things we sell a year, but it's a bunch. We get several loads in a year. So
yeah, I know we order 8 to 10 at a time. Quite a, I don't know, 5 or 6 times a year.
A lot. I can't keep track of them all. So but anyway, if you guys got any questions, leave comments on the video. You know, like and subscribe our channel. We'll have more videos of some stuff coming up soon. Definitely have a video on that 150. I've got a bunch of big old oak and hickory, which around here hickory's about the nastiest wood to split from my opinion.
It is.
It's all stringy
hard,
and nasty.
hard,
so
stringy, nasty stuff.
That will put it to the test. You know, a lot of people have pine and stuff, and that's fine and dandy, but until you get split in oak and hickory and stuff like that, that really puts the machines to the test. So.
Big locust, nasty.
Yeah, for sure. So guys, let us know what you think. We'll have another video out on that 150 soon.
Any questions, call us.
Thank you.